Welcome to Jabba's Palace.
Hi.
Hello. Checking in?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a reservation under Dr. Price.
Okay, let me look that up for you.
Can I ask you a question? Do you know if the hotel has long-range comms?
What do you mean?
I'm not getting a SIG on my comm link.
I'm not sure.
Is there a satellite dish? Bunch of satellite dishes? Business.
There's a phone in your room.
That'll work. Can I ask you another question? You probably get this a lot. This isn't the real Jabba's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Jabba live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
Why don't you just stop worrying for 1 minute? Be proud of yourself.
Oh, how cute. What's his name?
Baby Yoda.
Grogu.
Grogu?
So, are you sure you're qualified to be taking care of that baby?
What are you talking about? I found a baby before.
You found a baby before?
Yeah.
Where?
Tatooine.
Wait, what?
Welcome back to Rewind with bschwitty, because your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. Happy Revenge of the 5th, everyone. I still say Revenge of the 6th makes more sense, but I got vetoed. Hope you enjoyed my shenanigans yesterday for May the 4th, which I added as this episode's bumper for your entertainment. And if you missed out on that the first time, you can find me on Instagram by going to @RewindShow. For today, we're going to honor Star Wars Explained by doing an episode on the wines of Star Wars in their style of informational videos, as you can already see. So without further ado, here's what we know from the new canon about Star Wars wines. The Star Wars films and TV series feature bar scenes pretty regularly, yet wine is scarcely seen on screen and never mentioned by name. In fact, the only wine I can remember seeing on screen is the champagne-style wine being opened in The Last Jedi's Canto Bight scene. Improperly, I might add. There are other wine-like glasses throughout this montage of Canto Bight's upper-class citizens, and I believe we are to assume that it is some sort of celestial champagne that they're all drinking, like the wine we see popped at the end of the scene. The fact that the Canto Bight scene was the first time I recall seeing wine in Star Wars is interesting, because the first major appearance of wine in the new canon I encountered, and subsequently made me think about making an episode like this, occurred in a tie-in anthology novel for The Last Jedi called Canto Bight. In the story The Wine in Dreams by Mira Grant from said anthology, the galaxy's finest sommelier named Durla Pedis comes to Canto Bight to purchase a rare bottle of wine from the Gramis sisters. The Wine in Dreams is definitely the gem of the 4 stories in this collection, and if you're a fan of wine and Star Wars, I highly recommend giving it a read or listen. Pedis briefly describes wines she has sold in the past, specifically sweet wine from the frozen vineyards of Orto Plutonia. For those of you that don't know, Ordo Plutonia is home to the Tal species, which you may remember seeing in the cantina scene from Star Wars A New Hope. Ordo Plutonia was also featured in a Clone Wars episode where the Tals had to fight off the Pantorans for sovereignty over the planet in the episode Trespass. She also makes reference to a bitter astringent cleansing wine from the drowned vineyards of Naboo. Presumably these are the Gungan wines. She also mentions a sour, virtually undrinkable wine that comes from Naboo's native fruits bottled in the air by human vintners who say Gungan wine will never compare. She mentions the faintly poisonous wine of Laspin, overly potent wine brewed by the Azum of the forest moon of Endor, which can only be safely consumed when mixed with the simpler sweet sunberry wine made by EWOKS. It should be noted that the Ewok Nissa and rebel pilot Kes Dameron, who was Poe Dameron's father, toasted to the victory at the Battle of Endor with some sunberry wine. Pedis also brings Coruscant Black wine as a gift to a bartender. She also mentions that she has tasted fungal wines before. The namesake of this story, the Wine of Dreams, is described secondhand to Pedis before she's able to taste it. Secondhand accounts said it tasted like the wines they drink in dreams. It's crisp and light and sweet, but every person that she had heard a story from had different notes on the flavors and colors. In the story, she's able to have a taste of the Wine of Dreams, where she described the color as a liquid that seems to hold every color of the setting sun, somehow dividing them as the wine settles in the glass, so that the bottom of the wine is clear as crystal, and the top is a deep bruised purple of night. Between those states are yellow, orange, pink, a dazzling array of shades, swirled and twisted and impossible. At first taste, the sweetness is dominant, deep and rich, but then is replaced by something less cloying, and finishes on a crisp, astringent note. Every flavor is in the wine, and it cleanses the palate when done. Moving on from this treasure trove of wine in the Star Wars galaxy, we move on to Domaine de la Maison sur le Lac, which was first seen in the 15th episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2, episode Senate Murders, where the Rhodian senator Anaconda Farr was killed by poison mixed into a bottle of the wine that he drank from. Fun fact, this name, when translated from French, means the domain of the House of the Lake. Moving on, we have Andoan wine, which was a type of wine produced on Ando, the home world of the Aqualish species. In 22 BBY, Andoan wine can be seen being served at the Outlander Club on the planet Coruscant, which had a bottle on the counter behind the club's central bar. Originally, this drink had no name, but it was retconned by the book Star Wars: How Not to Get Eaten by Ewoks and Other Galactic Survival Skills. Andoan wine is also written about in the Lost Stars novel when human pilot Thane Carell, in the year 3 ABY, after the Battle of Yavin, had developed a taste for the drink over time. Emerald wine was a beverage made from the juice of emerald grapes. It was notably produced on Alderaan, Naboo, and Lothal. Mentioned in the book The Rebellion Begins, a tie-in novel to Star Wars Rebels, Captain Hiram Zatir served ISB agent Alexander Callis emerald wine from Alderaan aboard the Lawbringer. From Dark Disciple, in 19 BBY, Count Dooku drank a glass of floral-scented Alderaanian wine on Raxus Secundus during a party honoring him. Furthermore, Governor Wilhuff Tarkin notably poured glasses of Alderaanian white wine while stationed on Agaris as an attempt to get information on the planet and its inhabitants. This occurred in Adventures in Wild Space: The Rescue. Another wine mentioned across a few canon novels is Port in a Storm, which is a sweet, fortified wine with an reddish-amber color. It originated on the planet of Pamarth. It had a reputation for taking even the strongest of drinkers to their knees, which is why when I read about it in novels, I assumed it had been a liquor, not a wine. The Pamarthan human pilot Greer Sonnel, who could easily drown the drink, likened its heat to a fire that simultaneously went to the head and gut. In the book Bloodlines, Senator Ransom Castarfo of Riosa compared the experience of drinking the beverage to consuming exploding fireworks, then a fireball that expanded like a star and eventually settled on a supernova, being the most apt comparison. He believed it was unfit for human consumption. Nonetheless, native Pamarthans were known to sip the drink as if it were nothing harsher than fruit juice. Finally, Tonere wine is the most referenced wine in the Star Wars universe. It is one of multiple types of wines from Alderaan. Tonere has a teal color and is a form of sparkling wine, yet it is also sweet. It is best served chilled in flutes. The fruits used to make Tonere are from vines with deep green leaves. Tonere also has a less alcohol-heavy cousin that is a shade lighter, but hardly distinguishable from Tonere. Mentions of Tonere wine in canon works include Rael Averross, former Jedi apprentice of Count Dooku, would sometimes drink Tonere while he was Lord Regent of Pijal. Tobias Beckett celebrated being rescued by Val from a queen who had kidnapped and intended to marry him by drinking a rare vintage he stole on his way out. Queen Brea Organa of Alderaan would serve tonere to specific guests at dinner parties, but serve the less alcoholic cousin to the rest. Following the destruction of the first Death Star, Inferno Squadron was given a bottle to celebrate their creation and the success of their first mission by Admiral Garrick Versio. 24 years after the founding of the New Republic, which was after the Battle of Endor and Return of the Jedi, Leia Organa was offered one of the last bottles of tonere wine by Rinriven Dai, a crime lord she planned on arresting. In 34 ABY, 5 years after the previous mention of tonere, the wine is served at Olga's Cantina in Blackspire Outpost on Batuu. Although Zaid Khalideh of the Midnight Blade preferred Corellian wine, he accepted the bartender Nan's suggestion to drink the tonere. Quick side note, Corellian wine has been pictured in Star Wars comics. And when hiding on the planet of Monsua Nebula from Imperial TIE fighters, Han Solo offered the drink to Princess Leia Organa. However, she refused by pouring the wine in his face. Which brings us to the real-world Olga's Cantina at Blackspire Outpost at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland and Disney World's Magic Kingdom, where tonere is sold for consumption to parkgoers 21 years and older. This version of tonere is not a sparkling wine, but it is teal-colored. In fact, it is a Chardonnay produced by California winery Goldschmidt Vineyards. And that concludes what we know of wine in the canon Star Wars universe. If I left out any references you can think of, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you'd like me to review the tonere wine that we can get in the real world, let me know, because I would be excited to try it. Remember that you can find me here on my YouTube channel by going to rewindshow.com. Join us over on Instagram, where I upload 10-minute versions of these episodes to IGTV on @RewindShow. And you can always find me on Twitter by going to @bschwitty. This has been Rewind. My name is bschwitty, and I will catch you next time.